Okay, so that's where I believe the finding was a habit.
Correct.
Behavior.
Yes.
Yeah, behavior. Yeah.
Yes. So for us, what we did now, the first thing we did was just run an Excel sheet and a Google form. So use the Google form, share it with a few of your friends, around 20 people, not many, and then see the results you get.
So what was in the worksheet?
It was basically very plain questions, like
It's like a survey.
how do you save? Yes.
So survey questions.
Yeah, survey questions. How do you save? When was the last time you saved some money? Can you remember? Was it yesterday? Was it last week? Can you remember when it was?
Yeah.
What do you intend to save for? What are the current issues you're having in your savings journey? So they are very direct questions.
So you sample like 20 people?
20 people, yes.
20 people.
Yes.
What were your shocking findings?
Shocking finding was even the people who have bank accounts, they really struggle putting money on the side.
Okay.
So when we were starting the survey, we thought, especially people who are unbanked, they are the ones who will see the issue being very pressing for them. But we were shocked, even people who have these bank accounts are still struggling. The other thing that was very clear, there's very limited financial literacy.
And the people with bank accounts are the people with incomes.
Very true.
Yes.
Yes. So, and the money is channeled into current accounts where they can easily channel them to investment accounts.
So money was whatever money they had was sleeping idle in the current accounts.
Yes, or they end up, money comes in,
And
we withdraw everything,
Yes.
they actually end up being in the negative with loans.
Yes.
Yes. So after that, we were like, this looks interesting. Can we expand the scope of our survey?
So the people who have incomes and the people who don't have incomes, they both were struggling with saving.
They're both struggling, yes.
They were together.
They are together.
They were together
Yes.
because there is a deeper problem
Yes.
than just availability of money.
Very true, very true.
Okay.
So what we did after that is we expanded now the research. So what we'll do is now tell our friends, can you share this with your other friends? People who are far removed from us. And for that, I think we extended to around 80, 90 people, not very many. Again, something you can do over a week. And the results were the same. So we were like, I think we have something here that needs to be tackled.
Okay.
Right? So the next thing we did now...
There's a problem.
There's a problem here.
Yeah.
The next thing we did now was create another questionnaire, but trying to address those issues and seeing what kind of model resonates with them. So for example, we would say, what if you had an app that you can put your 5 shillings there? And people would be like, 5 shillings, then you'd see them reason. At this stage, we were also very keen to have face-to-face meetings with these potential people we're interviewing. Because again, we always say 80% of communication is non-verbal. So for you to see how pressing an issue is, you need to see their facial expression.
Yeah.
Are they seeing this? You can tell someone who's excited about what you're providing just from the way they talk, and the way they present, or how they feel about what you're offering.
Yeah.
So after that phase, now we did the first mock-up, just designing a very basic app.
So what was the finding of that?
Yeah, so basically we saw that if you had things that would push people towards savings and investment, they would be excited about that and they would be more disciplined. The other thing that was very clear was...
Something pushing people towards investment.
Yes.
Just clarify that. It's a heavy statement.
Yes. So number one, what things can encourage people to put money aside.
Okay.
So one of the things is, if you tell me if I put money here, it grows, that's a very big plus.
Incentive.
Yes. If it's also good that it's very convenient and efficient for me to put money there, it's also a big plus. Right? The other thing was trying to make the product as simple as possible. Remember I mentioned the whole gap is also in financial literacy. So how can you have a product that is easy to understand from A to B, nothing too complex. And I'll give you an example. So the way my mind works is that it tries to make very complex things to be very simple.
Yeah.
And there's something we call mind tries to take shortcuts every time. And one very easy example we usually give is how the mind usually shortens names. So So for example, a name like karaoke, say Karis.
Yeah.
A name like Irongo will say Irosh.
Yes.
What the mind is doing is trying to reduce that cognitive load
Yes.
about that name.
Yeah.
So the question was, then how can we reduce that thinking of the user also on a product itself,
Yeah.
so that they can be incentivized to put money aside?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and the other way we did that was also to ensure that the app looks exciting. The color is by design. Traditionally, people have always associated putting money aside as something very serious. The colors are blue and green.
Yeah, solid blue.
Solid blue.
You cannot be a financial institution and
Yes, you cannot be colorful, you cannot be exciting. But then our case is saving and investing is also exciting.
Yes.
Come on, if you're doing this for your future, then you need to be excited about
It
it.
needs to be fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and borrowing also from where people spend a lot of their money, like entertainment joints. Part of what they do is through design. The colors is vibrant. You feel attracted to it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And also nature. Nature is generally very colorful.
Yeah.
So the question was then, can we have the same experience on the app? That's something we're also very cognizant of, to make it very colorful, exciting, and the journey for you to put money aside being very clear.
Yeah.
To reduce that mental load for you to think when to put money. Yeah, so that's what we did. And then now we went ahead and now started to share it with our friends.
Yeah.
We saw they were using it. But then we understood there are things we needed to iterate, even in the user experience, now based on ground experience.
Yeah.
And we changed some of the designs.
Yeah.
And then after that, now that's when we went to CMA and told them, look, yeah, we looked for you actually.
Yes.
Looked for you and we were like,
yes.
Look by us. I think we have something exciting here.
Yes.
Would you be the custodian of the money we hold?
Yes.
And then we
Yes.
talked to CMA.
Yes.
And I remember during that time,
Yes.
we had actually talked to a number of people.
Yes.
But what had learned over time is that people who understand ideas on a very abstract level are very few.
They are very few.
They are very few. That's why you end up talking to a number of people before you get someone who understands what you're trying to do and they're open.
Yeah.
Yeah, so someone said, hey, talk to Pius. I think Pius will get this.
Yes.
And I remember now in that call, I think it was the shortest call.
Yes.
Of
all of them.
Of all the, yeah. So would expect 1 hour and a half explaining what we do.
Yes.
And then on the other one, it's you deliberating whether or saying after a week I'll consider.
Yeah.
I remember, I think that call took like 30 minutes.
Yes.
We told you what we were doing and then you're like, look, we're going to do this.
Yes.
And after that, it was all systems go.
It was all systems go.
Yes. Yeah, the only place we had latencies were getting things like pay bills, as you'd expect, it's a process of submitting documents.
Yes. And I remember, I think it's because of our culture.
Yeah.
Our culture has always been entrepreneurial. Nabo didn't start like a typical fund manager.
Yeah.
We all started as investors who are looking for opportunities. So when I see an opportunity, I recognize it.
Yeah.
So
nice, yeah.
I thought like a businessman, and like this is simple. Yeah.
But I can tell you for sure it wasn't simple to most people. Trying to understand. So an app, another app. I'm seeing all these apps.
Yeah.
What's different about this? Yeah. But I also remember you talked about behavioral finance in that call,
Yes.
And you said you understand what you're trying to do with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So from there, that's when now we presented to CMA. Very excited as part of market deepening.
Yes.
Again, us being among the first to do this.
Yeah.
What that meant was CMA had created this sandbox where they invite tech innovations.
And this is an important thing. I don't want us to miss it, because there are a lot of people, there are a lot of IT people who have very amazing innovations, but they don't know how to walk that journey. And here, what you really did is to complete the team. You have a tech team and a finance team coming together.
Very true.
So now when we appear, the two, Nabo and Moneto, before CMA, we are complete.
Yes.
We are complete. And I think that's, because I see so many tech people struggling to take a financial product to the market, but they don't have all the pieces.
Yes.
Yeah. I think maybe you can just talk about what maybe why Nabo.
I think, so the one thing I always tell people is whenever they have an idea, they need to understand very few people understand ideas.
Yes.
So, for example, the example I always give,
Yeah.
if someone came and told you, look, I have this idea of a place where people can be saying what they think, they can be seeing what other people think. At the same time, you can ask them, why did you think that way? At the same time, they can come and share a photo. Is that something you'd buy or not? And people will say, it's neither here or there. But then if I tell you, would you buy into Facebook or not? Because Facebook is an actual product.
Yeah.
But now if I present that same idea in abstract form,
Yes, yes.
it's very hard for you to comprehend what it is.
You can't see the vision.
You can't see the vision.
Yes.
So that's and for most entrepreneurs, that's what I always tell them.
Yeah.
You have the vision, but
Yeah.
remember, not everyone communicates the same way.
Yeah.
In very abstract
Yeah.
and on an idea level.
Yeah.
Most people, the only thing they'll buy into is something that works. But if you get someone who's able to buy into the vision, that's a big plus. So I think for us, coming to Nabo, I think that's what we unlocked. We also found a team that's also able to see, to think in very abstract terms. At the same time, we had something that was functioning to an extent, but that then seeing that all the way to the regulator, now is what now aligned everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So getting someone who matches your needs, they understand the vision.
Yeah.
They can see A to Z of it,
Yeah.
or if they don't see A to Z, they are willing to give it a shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember, even for CMA, for them to welcome us,
Yeah.
they were aware there's a new innovation.
Yeah.
They have not had a similar innovation in the
Yeah.
CMA space.
Yeah.
But what they said was, look, we have this sandbox where we welcome new innovations, and then as they operate, we also understand how to regulate them. But we'll allow them to go live.
You know, two words come to my mind, which I are very critical. Founding mentality.
Yeah.
You had a founding mentality. You needed a fund manager with founding mentality.
Very true.
And we also needed a regulator with a founding mentality.
Very true.
Those forces are really what made that innovation possible.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah.
Because that's why a lot of entrepreneurs struggle
Yes.
when they try to strike partnerships
Yes.
with either big financial institutions
Yes.
or certain institutions.
Correct.
You might find the people they are dealing with,
Yes, the employees.
they don't have founding mentality.
Employee mentality.
Yes.
Yes.
But if it's someone who's very open to ideas,
Yes.
you know, they can say, look, I might not fully understand what you're doing, but I see the value in it.
Correct.
Can we create a safe space for you to try it out?
Correct.
And then we see where this goes.
Correct.
Yeah, so I think and that's a very good point. Even when you're looking for partners,
Yes.
getting someone who has, trying to see whether they have tried even a business before.
Yes.
Because that's a founding mentality.
It's a founding mentality.
And what they learn from that,
Yes.
it makes the conversation easier
Yes.
for them to be welcoming to new ideas.
Absolutely.
Yes.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Now we can continue.
Yeah. Yeah. So now after that, that's when we went to CMA,
Yeah.
presented that, and then after they saw what we were doing, and after a series of meetings, and themselves internally trying out the solution, they thought this is something they would like to see how it works, in the public space, and we were given the green light to, to go live.
Yeah.
And then since then it has been maximizing on word of mouth.
We were in the SCMA sandbox for
That was a year.
a year.
Yes, around a year. Yes.
1 year.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, and that's the regulator understanding how you're operating,
Yeah.
putting the the walls on how you should operate,
Yeah.
guiding you on how to
Yeah.
handle public funds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
And I want to take this opportunity also to give a big shout out to CMA.
yeah.
I was having dinner yesterday with some foreign investors, and they say they have met many regulators, but they find CMA very unlike all the other regulators, very welcoming, very approachable, very willing to innovate.
Yeah.
To innovate and to venture into new areas, and so I want to also just give a big shout out to CMA.
We are a country
we have a good regulator.
Yes, we are a country of many firsts, and I think creating an environment that is encouraging innovation.
Yeah.
It's It's the best thing that can ever happen to, you know, any entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, even before you go through all the hoops, you
Yeah.
need to know you have someone who's supportive,
Yeah.
can listen to you,
Mm.
and they can see the value in what you're creating.
Correct.
Or even if they don't see the full picture,
Mm.
they're willing to say, look, we'll create a safe space for you to try it out.
Mm.
We see how it works, and then we regulate you.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Okay. So we go through the sandbox for 1 year, and then we launched
Yes.
March 2022.
So actually for CMA it was in August.
August
Yes.
2020.
Yes. What we did was we just mentioned our partnership in
Yes.
March 2022.
Yeah. Okay.